Headlines flash, US forges new Philippine bases. China warns of dangerous escalation. Missiles deployed in Luzon Strait. The turquoise waters of the South China Sea, once tranquil, are now patrolled by warships bristling with weaponry. This isn't fiction. It's February 2026, and the region is a powder keg. The US and China are locked in a high-stakes standoff, and the Philippines is now the most critical piece on the board. The escalation began quietly. Satellite images of new Philippine airfields, diplomatic whispers, and press conferences hinting at a new era. For years, China built artificial islands installing runways and missiles. Now, the US is responding. Together with the Philippines, America is drawing a new line, not just with hardware, but with a message. On one side, China, determined to assert sovereignty. On the other, the US, vowing to keep the Indo-Pacific free and open. Southeast Asian nations, especially the Philippines, are caught in the middle. Fishermen harassed, claims ignored. The stakes? Global trade, international law, and the world economy. This is more than a regional dispute. It's a defining moment for 21st century geopolitics. Decisions in Washington, Manila, and Beijing will ripple worldwide. The world is watching as this new front line takes shape. The pieces are moving, strategies unfolding, and a new era is being written in the contested waters of the South China Sea. The balance of power is shifting, fast. The question, who will shape the future of Asia? The US military expansion in the Philippines is swift and calculated. Forget sprawling Cold War bases. This is about agility and access. Under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, US forces now operate from key Philippine sites, pre-positioning equipment and rotating troops. The locations are strategic: Luzon, facing Taiwan; Palawan, near the disputed Spratly Islands. The game changer: the deployment of the Typhoon missile system, capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away. With these systems, the US can control choke points like the Luzon Strait, vital for naval movement. Joint military exercises, like Balikatan, have grown in scale and complexity, now simulating retaking islands and sinking enemy ships. Thousands of US and Filipino troops train together, building trust and seamless cooperation. The Pentagon's new approach: distribute forces across smaller, dispersed bases, making them harder to target. This posture complicates any Chinese plans to neutralize US power quickly. The message: the US isn't just visiting, it's embedding itself in the region. America's presence is now persistent, its capabilities deeply rooted. The security of the Indo-Pacific is no longer assumed, it's being actively defended. The stakes are higher, the risks greater. The US is betting on deterrence, not retreat. The region's future may depend on this pivot. The world is watching. The South China Sea is the world's economic superhighway. 1/3 of global shipping, over $3 trillion annually, passes through here. The products in your home likely traveled these waters. Any conflict or blockade would disrupt global supply chains and spike prices everywhere. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil, gas, and rich fishing grounds, critical for millions. Control here means economic and strategic power. That's why the disputes are so fierce. China's sweeping claims clash with those of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. Militarily, the sea is a chessboard. For China, it's about security and projecting power. For the US, it's about keeping sea lanes open. US Navy freedom of navigation operations challenge China's claims, ensuring these waters remain international. The South China Sea links the Pacific and Indian Oceans, a vital artery for commerce and military movement. If one power dominates, global trade and security are at risk. That's why the US cares. The stability of the global order depends on these waters staying free. The stakes are global, not just regional. The US-Philippines alliance is a strategic recalibration. Manila once courted Beijing, but Chinese aggression in Philippine waters changed the calculus. Now the Philippines is doubling down on its oldest ally. The US presence deters Chinese bullying and signals that aggression could trigger American intervention. The Mutual Defense Treaty guarantees US support if Philippine forces are attacked, even in the South China Sea. For America, Philippine bases are a strategic jackpot, perfect for monitoring China and projecting power. The Philippines is a logistical hub, a launch pad for rapid response, including in a Taiwan crisis. This partnership is the cornerstone of America's Indo-Pacific strategy, showing allies that US commitments matter. Other Southeast Asian nations are watching. Success here could inspire a united front. It's a high-stakes gamble. Both nations are betting their security on this alliance. The outcome could reshape the region's balance of power. The world is watching to see if this gamble pays off. Beijing sees the US military buildup in the Philippines as a direct threat. Chinese officials call it encirclement, accusing America of stoking instability and using the Philippines as a pawn. China's narrative, a rising power blocked by a declining superpower. The response? Ramped up gray zone tactics. Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels harass Philippine ships, using water cannons and lasers, stopping just short of open conflict. These actions wear down Filipino resolve and assert de facto control. Behind the scenes, China is accelerating military modernization. More warships, more missiles, more fortifications on artificial islands. The goal: make the South China Sea too dangerous for US forces. The US move, meant as deterrence, is fueling a new arms race. Tensions are rising, and the risk of miscalculation grows. The region is on edge, with both sides digging in. The standoff is entering a more dangerous phase. The US expansion in the Philippines is reshaping Asia's strategic landscape. For years, China's rise seemed unstoppable. Now Washington is pushing back, re-engaging allies and reasserting its presence. The new US bases near Taiwan are a game-changer, giving America a launch pad in any Taiwan crisis. Beijing must now plan for threats from the south, complicating any invasion scenario. Allies like Japan and Australia welcome the move, seeing it as proof of US commitment. America's network of alliances is becoming more integrated, presenting a united front. The message, aggression against one, could trigger a response from many. This is 21st century superpower competition, military, diplomatic, and economic. The stakes: will Asia be dominated by one power or remain a region of sovereign states under shared rules? The US bet is clear, but the risks are rising. The lines of confrontation are sharper than ever. The balance of power is in flux, and the outcome is uncertain. The world is watching as history unfolds. The US military buildup in the Philippines has reset the chessboard, but the game is far from over. Expect more maritime confrontations, aggressive air intercepts, and disinformation campaigns. Every incident is a test. One misstep could spark a crisis. Will the US and Philippines deepen cooperation? Will other nations join or hedge their bets? The cohesion of America's alliance network will shape the region's future. The big question: will deterrence work or provoke China into riskier moves? The fate of Taiwan, freedom of the seas, and global stability hang in the balance. This is not just a regional issue. It affects us all. The South China Sea remains the epicenter of global competition. The world watches, hoping for peace, but bracing for confrontation.